All right, I think we're live. So, first live video on the new channel, and it's been something that I've been looking forward to, and something that's been in the works for a while. But essentially, this is the new direction of business content that I'm keen to share with business owners all around the world. Obviously, I'm Australian, so I have a lot to say and a lot of opinions, and I think a lot of value and help that I can give the Australian business ecosystem. But obviously, not going to restrict that to just Australians. Anyone in the world can watch. And right now, we have a grand total of 0 people watching. And to be honest, it's probably a good thing. Helps just make sure this show just goes as planned with regards to me just setting the scene and setting the boundaries of what I want to achieve. So what do I want to achieve? I think I'm going to read it out because this is cool actually. YouTube. I don't know if I've actually oh yeah, you can share screen. This is pretty cool. Right, this might be actually way easier than I thought it was. Because I was going to run through like Ecamm Live or like StreamYard or a platform like that. And to be honest, I could not for the life of me figure out how to actually share my screen in a way that actually made it look legitimate. So I'll try it this way, and maybe this will just be like way simpler. Here we go. Share. There we go. I wonder what this looks like on the screen. There you go. It comes up way easier to read. So this is actually an internal memo that I wrote out with the help of AI to my team. And yeah, this is just kind of like the guiding light. I'm not going to read all 15 pages for you, but I just wanted to read this like first part, this executive summary. So I'll zoom right in so it's a bit easier. So I mean, it says confidential internal use only. AI actually wrote that. I don't actually care that it's confidential, hence why I'm sharing it live to the world right now. But executive summary. Business Outliers, our company, name to be confirmed, but this is what we're going with at the moment, is a media company built for driven, experienced business owners. Our mission is to produce genuinely great content that helps ambitious entrepreneurs grow their businesses and feel connected to a world of people who think like them. It might seem like simplistic, but these words are actually really important to me. Like the fact that I want to help ambitious entrepreneurs, because I'm one of them, obviously, and I feel like there's not enough help out there for people like me. And growing their business is actually like a really important part. I'm a big believer in that. If you've got a business and it does good in the world, growing it is almost like an act of duty, or it's almost like an obligation for you to grow it and to help more people. And so obviously there's personal benefits and strategic gains to gain out of growing a business. Namely, you make more money and you get rewarded in other ways in life. But at the end of the day, growing your business is serious shit. Like it can be make or break for people. There's so many different types of businesses that had a client or a customer not discovered a particular remedy in the healthcare space or something like that, or a tool or a technique that their life was altered for the better of it. And if that didn't happen, that would have been a travesty, to be honest. So this is really important. And then the final thing, I guess, is like feel connected to a world of people who think like them. And so this is for me like a really touchy point and sore point, because I guess I'll say it right now, because this is the beginning of the new chapter of me sharing this sort of stuff. But I honestly feel like an idiot sometimes when I go to articulate. I mean, I don't even articulate it anymore because it seems so extreme. But when I talk to other people in my community, close friends, family members, people I have common interests and hobbies with, sports, like I'm a surfer. I also played touch football. Like, so I've got all of these hobbies and interests and friends from these worlds. And when they ask me about business stuff, I feel like I can't be honest with them because my dreams are so far detached from reality. And that reality is my current reality. And that reality is also just the reality of 99.9% of the population. And so it can feel quite isolating. And I know other business owners feel like this. Um, and so starting this whole business media thing, this experiment, is one of the ways I think that will genuinely have an impact on the world because it'll help people like me realize there are there are other crazy people like me out there. So a part of this company is also running a podcast. So I've already filmed 10 episodes of that podcast. That podcast is going to be released, maybe not on this channel, maybe on a different channel. And already with talking with those 10 people, like I've realized that these are my people, and there are other people out there that think like me and think like this. And so in my hypotheses, the more I can connect with these people and the more these people can connect with each other through viewing this type of content or um, just seeing the guests that appear on my channel, listening to their stories, realizing that their dreams may be a bit detached from reality, but that's a good thing because that's what they should be aiming for. And we should actually be striving much bigger and not be compressed by what the rest of the world thinks is normal and is achievable and that sort of thing. Because our customers and our clients and the world depends on it. It depends on making hard decisions and pushing the boundaries and making stuff happen. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but that's a definition of entrepreneurship is like this ability to create something out of nothing. To bring into reality something that didn't exist before. And that can be in the form of changing someone's life in the form of a product or a service or something like that. So the next part, you might have already read this based on my rambling, but this is like the big aha that I came across with. Like, the business content landscape is broken. Most of what exists out there falls into a few categories. Beginner focused entrepreneurship content. I'm talking about like how to make your first 10K a month, blah, blah, blah. This stuff is valuable. Like that really helped me about 12, 13, 14 years ago. And maybe I will make a little bit of this content. I don't know, because like I feel like I could help the young version of Liam back then. But there's enough of that content out there. And some of it's really helpful. So I don't need to contribute to that. Unfortunately, the rest of that content, which I'm going to get onto now, is actually probably a disservice and making the whole landscape worse than better. But there's enough of that. AI generated stuff. I mean, this is getting worse and worse. I cannot believe how bad some of the YouTube videos that I'm seeing now are, where people are using ChatGPT and Claude to create scripts and sitting there and reading the teleprompter. And it's like, I could not feel more offended and feel like my time is more wasted when I find myself watching a video like that and wondering why I'm not getting any value out of it. Another reason why this is live. I think this is going to be a really important part moving forward that I think people are going to catch on. I think people, even if you don't realize that it's AI, if you're doing these kinds of videos and you're pretty sure that no one can tell that your script is AI, but you're wondering why people don't like the videos, it's because it's AI. And yes, AI can produce amazing scripts or amazing ideas, but if you're just reading it word for word, they're not connecting. Anyway, it's slop. There's too much slop out there. This is my attempt at improving it. The dry educational material, Silicon Valley centric media that takes up the disproportionate share of quality output. I mean, like this is the other thing is like there are some really, really good media businesses and media content out there. Unfortunately, the best ones I feel are based in that Silicon Valley ecosystem. And so that is a tiny ecosystem and it doesn't impact me. Like I'm not a tech startup. I'm not in Silicon Valley. I'll never move to San Francisco. So what about 99.9% of us in the rest of the world that are running all these other businesses that make up trillions and trillions of the business ecosystem economy, right? Where is the content of that caliber that can help us? And look, I will continue to consume some of that content because I think that the crossover is there, and I encourage you to as well. Like for example, the content that I think. Anyway, I won't go into it now, but maybe I'll share some more. But yeah, the biggest problem is this. The vast majority of business content exists to generate leads and sales for the person making it. Let me read it again. The vast majority of business content exists to generate leads and sales for the person making it. Now, this is fine. You have to do this in business. We have another business in the triathlon niche. That's why we do the content, right? But we don't just do it to generate leads and sales. We realize that we want to help a proportion of the market that can't afford our services. So the free content is a way to do that. But by purely positioning the content as a way to generate leads and sales, automatically changes the way the content is delivered. It changes the type of content. It changes what is said in the content and why, right? Because the outcome is not to create good content. The goal is not to create good content. Charlie Munger, I freaking love this quote because it comes up again and again, but he always says, show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome. If the incentive is to make content that generates business, the outcome will be that content will not be as good just as a result, because you're not making the content to try and be the best content possible. You're making the content to try and generate leads, generate sales, right? And this is, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Like, we do this in our other business, but in the business landscape as a whole, the business content landscape, this is a huge issue and something that, yeah, I was really frustrated with. And so this was, I guess, a big aha moment for me. And again, like, this could completely backfire. This might not work out at all, right? But my hypothesis is that if I can enter this market and give it a red hot crack at trying to deliver the most valuable content purely to try and deliver the most value, purely to try and put like a dent in this industry with regards to quality content, and as a result, help as many business owners and entrepreneurs in the real world as possible, I think the leads and sales will take care of themselves. And honestly, like, people ask me, "Oh, what's your plan for monetization with all of this?" Look, I've got some ideas around what I think could happen, but I really don't know. At the end of the day, like, reading this manifesto and reading this internal document before I went live today really helped solidify why I'm doing this, and it's helped solidify what I'm talking about, like what I chose to talk about, because I'm not trying to position myself in a certain way to get you to do something, to get you to achieve something. And every time I fall into the trap of thinking about monetization and thinking about what I'm going to, who I'm trying to attract and what niche I'm in and all that sort of stuff, it takes away from the core purpose of the content, which is genuinely to add value, genuinely to create the best business content out there, right? So at the end of the day, it's all guru content. And look, some gurus are awesome. Like, you probably watched Alex Hormozi's videos. His videos are fantastic, right? But everyone's trying to be like him, right? And to be honest, a lot of people shouldn't be, because they're not gurus. They actually don't know what they're talking about. And so experts shilling information, so you sign up for their program and buy their product. Almost nobody is out there making content with a genuine primary intention of producing something great and helpful for business owners. So that's what we're doing. We produce 2 distinct shows, each with clear and separate purpose. Business Outliers podcast, it's a long-form show. I think I told you about that. They uncovers the hero's journey of exceptional people whose insights can help other businesses grow. I won't go into the rest of it, but just so you know, like, the 10 guests that I've already interviewed on that show have blown me away with their generosity and what the time that they've been able to give. But look, I used to think that if I could get my business to like multi-7 figures or 8 figures a year, that would just be like out of this world of accomplishment. Like, it just seems so unachievable and unattainable. It just didn't even seem real. And then out of the 10 people that I've interviewed so far for this podcast, multiple of them have either sold their company for over $100 million or have their company worth hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, one of the companies is, I think, valued over $1 billion unofficially, because they just raised, I think, just under $1 billion, and it's grown since then. So this kind of dwarfs like what I thought was possible. And then talking to these people and realizing that they're just normal people that executed brilliantly on an idea or on a strategy. And they were so keen and honest just to share their advice and their lessons learned with me and with you. It it really, really was awesome and really is eye opening. So that's going to be a huge part of what we do moving forward. But that's one of the shows. The other show is what you're watching right now, live. And honestly, I don't know the cadence. Like to begin with, I was like, maybe I should just go live daily, just create a routine out of it. Um, this is the first one that you're probably watching. I've had a couple of goes at doing the live show over on X instead of YouTube. I'm a big consumer of X. I'm a big consumer of YouTube as well, to be honest. But um, I don't know which one I want to focus on, but I'm so bullish on YouTube in the future as well. And I feel like more of us hang out here on YouTube. Like X is very, yes, tech entrepreneur, Silicon Valley, course seller, bro, money, Twitter, like all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm not convinced where we'll go, but had a few goes on X. This is the first go on YouTube. Watch this space. I think eventually, obviously, we'll try as many different places as possible. But yeah, the idea with the Daily Show is again like to try and generate this kind of value that we're talking about, but in a different way. So we'll still have guests. We'll still they'll still try and share what's working, but it'll be a little bit faster paced, which is kind of comical. Like you're probably watching this, but this is the slowest paced video I've ever watched. What am I even watching here? But bear with us. This is all part of it, right? And so, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Like I think this has kind of been like a cool first kind of insight into what I'm doing, what I'm trying to achieve. I can get to my screen share now, which is cool. Okay. Yeah. So I think overall, I'm excited, and I guess I want you to bear with me because it's not going to be perfect straight away. But I know that because the North Star is there, and I know that no one else is thinking about business content in this way, I know it's not going to be long until we start to get a bit of traction and we start to really achieving our goal of delivering life-changing value for business owners. And the reason why that's important as well is because if we can deliver that, then businesses can then grow and then deliver life-changing value to their customers and clients. And the indirect impact that we have in the world is huge from that. And yeah, I was told by an early mentor that if you can have a dream or a mission big enough, it becomes easy to get out of bed and becomes easy to commit to. And this feels like that for me. And so I'm excited for it. So I definitely will go live again tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about with regards to AI. I think a lot of business owners are currently like struggling with questions around AI. What should I be doing? Where should I be going? I don't want to pretend like I'm an expert on AI, but the whole point of this show is discussing this. The whole point of the show is to have a hub and a HQ for business owners where they can check in with what is going on and what they think they should be doing or what they think they should be concentrating on, and yeah, figure out what's signal and what's noise. And so AI is going to be a big part of that. It's never going to go away, I don't think. But this definitely is going to be an AI channel. Or maybe it will be. If you guys force me to make it that way, because it ends up being even bigger than we probably imagine. Sure, but yeah. Again, the difference is we're not covering AI because we're trying to sell an AI school community or something like that. The purpose of this is that to genuinely try and create the best content possible. And I think the congregation of listeners and audience that congregate here, because of that reason, I think will be extremely valuable. And the community that will be built on top of that will be extremely valuable. And yeah, I think it's going to be cool. And I'm really looking forward to it. So end of first video, almost 20 minutes of rambling from me, but it'll be interesting to look back on this first live stream and yeah, to see where we go. I've made some bold predictions. I'm 95% sure that those bold predictions will change. But that's the whole point of business. The whole point of entrepreneurship is having a strategy, putting your foot down and going, and yeah, being able to pivot and change direction on the way. That's it. That's the end of the live stream. I'll catch you tomorrow. We're going to talk about all things AI. Maybe I should just talk about like what actual content we're going to go through because I'm pretty excited for it. AI agents in your business. We recently had one of our virtual assistants quit on us, and she was responsible for doing all the call bookings and appointment setting for our client interviews and sales calls. So pretty integral part. And I thought, you know what, I reckon I can replace this with an AI agent. And so I originally started doing it with OpenClaw and quickly moved on to something else after I realized OpenClaw was as awesome as it is, was probably too hardcore. I needed something with like a bit more strict guardrails. Anyway, we were able to do it. It was pretty magical, to be honest, but not without its caveats. And I think that's what I want to talk about because I have so much strong opinions on this with regards to founders and entrepreneurs, and hourly rate is such a massive impact on this as well. The fact that AI is magic doesn't mean that we should always be utilizing its magic. But that is like one of the main key points that I want to talk. The ChatGPT and Claude, like which one's better? Like ChatGPT just released 5.4 thinking, 5.2 thinking, one of them. And honestly, like it's this is what people don't get, but like you need to be switching between models. Like it's crazy how much better some of these models are getting when they just leapfrog over each other, and we just have to be willing to adapt and be ready to change constantly. That the best AI shortcut that you will use daily. I've got a couple actually, but with one of them that I just use daily. Every single chat, it's literally like 3 or 4 buttons, bang, 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 and yeah, it is significantly improves your outputs with AI. And then the final thing I wanted to talk about was like the recent Cal AI acquisition from MyFitnessPal. This 18-year-old kid who built a ChatGPT wrapper that everyone was dunking on and built it to $40 million in revenue. And then MyFitnessPal just bought it for 9 figures. 18 years old. This kid is unbelievable. And I have so much thoughts about this. Personally, it honestly, it like rocked me a little bit. I think it rocked a lot of people. With comparison and thinking about their own businesses, and this 18-year-old kid genius built something that everyone thought was too simple or too stupid to pursue, and yeah, achieved something fantastic. And it is in the AI space, so I felt like it matches that to tomorrow's topic. But that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I might push this out to my network tomorrow and get a few people online and see how we go. But until then, talk soon.